Hi, my name is Alicia Cole. I'm a legal advocate at the YWCA.
And I'm Laura C. I'm the Assistant Manager of Sexual Assault and Legal Advocacy at the YWCA.
We are going to talk to you guys about domestic violence. October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, so we just kind of want to go over some DV statistics, types of abuse, and why survivors might stay in the relationship. So just to get you kind of an idea, in our community in Lee and Whiteside County, which is where the YWCA serves, in the past year, we served over 600 domestic violence survivors and their families. That totals about 5,000 service hours, and we assisted with 175 orders of protection. We also provided over 3,400 nights of shelter to survivors actively fleeing domestic violence. So just to kind of give you an idea of the prevalence just in our area, let alone nationwide.
And then nationwide, some statistics from the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence. 1 in 3 women and 1 in 4 men in the United States have experienced some form of physical violence by an intimate partner. Domestic violence affects more than 10 million women and men a year in the United States. 10 million. Intimate partner violence accounts for 15% of all violent crime, and 72% of all murder-suicides involve an intimate partner. 94% of the victims of these crimes are female.
So obviously it is super important that we start talking about domestic violence. This shouldn't be a taboo type conversation. Nobody should be thinking that it's shameful other than the abuser. The shame is the abuser's burden to bear. And if we're not talking about it, then people aren't understanding the seriousness and the prevalence and jumping in to help. I think oftentimes people are under the misunderstanding that domestic violence is strictly physical, and that is not the case. Obviously, the pushing, punching, restraining, strangling, all of that physical violence is severe, and we notice that. There's typically signs of that, bruises and stuff like that. Not all abuse leaves a mark. Emotional abuse, sexual violence, financial abuse, neglect. Oftentimes abusers put their victims in a situation to feel isolated. Financially, if they have no means to any financial like money, they aren't able to work because they're not allowed to work. It makes leaving a lot harder. Gaslighting, making someone feel like they're crazy, like what's happening to them is not actually happening to them, isolating them from friends and family so that they don't have anybody to turn to.
Okay, so further about why a victim might stay. And victims can be male or female. And we help both men and women at the YWCA. A lot of times a victim will feel that the abuse is temporary or that they can change their abuser. Oftentimes a victim loves their abuser and thinks they want the best for them and thinks that they can help them change. They oftentimes think it will never happen again. They've had a lot of good times in the past, and they think that there's more good times in the future, and they want to stay for that. They are afraid of losing the person that they love. They do love these people, even though it may not be the right definition of love as far as the abuser, how they treat them. They are concerned about physical harm to themselves or their children because oftentimes they are threatened. If you leave, I'm going to hurt the kids. I'm going to take the kids. They're also, like Alicia was saying, the loss of finances. They've financially isolated them. They don't have a credit score. They don't have a checkbook. They don't have any means to finances at all, so they can't really leave. So then they're afraid they can't make it on their own. And oftentimes through culture or community, faith, family, there's pressure from them to stay in a relationship no matter what. And then they have guilt and self-doubt. And the nature of abuse, an abuser, is to have someone feel that self-doubt and put them down all the time. And after a long time of being put down constantly, they start to doubt what they're thinking, and they can't even trust themselves to believe what they're going through. And so they don't think they should leave. And like I said, they have concerns for their children. They don't want to break up the family, even though it's really the abuse that's breaking up the family. They then put the onus on themselves and think that it's their fault, that they're the ones breaking up the family.
I also want to say that it typically takes a person 7 times of leaving before they actually stay gone. And when they leave, that is when they're in the most danger after they leave. So just keep that in mind. I think it's important that we keep believing and supporting and validating any survivor's concerns. Quit victim blaming. It's nobody's fault that they have been hurt. With all that being said, the YWCA does offer services to survivors. We have a 24-hour crisis hotline in both Sterling and Dixon offices. The numbers for those are 815-626-7277 in Sterling and 815-288-1011 in Dixon. Those are free confidential hotlines you can call any time of the day. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, somebody's there to talk.
I think it's important to note that all of our services are free and confidential. We have absolute privilege there, and we don't tell anybody anything. And the fact that it's free, and we're in both Whiteside and Lee County, and anybody that comes to us, we can help for free.
We have our emergency shelter as well. Obviously, that's not an ideal place for most people. They don't want to have to go into shelter. We try to get people in and help them with everything that they need help with to move to the next point. So whether that be an apartment, relocating somewhere else, we do everything that we can to get them back on track so that they can take care of themselves. We help them help themselves.
Our caseworkers, oftentimes people have to come to us with just the clothes on their backs. They don't have their birth certificate, their driver's license, anything, and they have to start from scratch and get those things. And our caseworkers are there to help them go get those things, fill out those forms, walk them through the process. But they don't do things for them. They enable them to do them themselves, because that's what we're there for. We are there to empower people. And with them doing it themselves, they little by little get the confidence that they need to take those steps and be on their own. Our shelter is, the typical stay is 45 days. And during that time, they do counseling and casework and find out about resources. Like Alicia said, they get housing. If that's what they need, whatever they need, that's what we're there to help them get.
And it's important for us to give them their power back by making those decisions themselves, and us giving them options and choices, and a survivor making those decisions for themselves gives them the power back that's been taken from them. We want to see people go from surviving to thriving. That's our goal.
So in closing, we just want to say thank you for taking the time to listen to this. I hope you learned a little something. And please, if you or someone you know, if you suspect someone is abused, or even yourself, sometimes we don't even know that we're the ones who are being abused. I hope you learned something here, and that you will reach out to us at those hotlines. Again, they're 626-7277 and 288-1011. Thank you.
Thank you.